Hi, welcome back. Today's class will be dedicated to elongating the hamstrings. Now, many people have tight hamstrings. You know who you are. But it's important to understand that when your quadriceps are too tight, and there's not enough attention given to the back of the leg, the hamstrings can get tight, stiff, and you can create injury in just a moment. And that takes a long time to heal. So today is more prevention, how to elongate and do it in a safe way. Okay? So as far as props today, we'll use a chair and a bolster or some height on the chair. We'll be going into Halasana with the legs on the chair. I have a bench and I have a rounded block. You don't need a rounded block, but something that you'll be able to lift your toes up off the floor. Okay, let's get started. Before we start our practice, I wanted to let you know about my online programs and workshops. Whether you're new to Iyengar yoga and want to learn the basics in a systematic way, a seasoned practitioner looking to revisit the essentials, or a yoga teacher seeking inspiration. These programs and workshops are self-paced, allowing you to make consistent progress and revisit specific topics whenever you like. You can find the link in the description below. With that said, let's begin our practice today. Okay, just come onto your mat. We're going to go into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. So here we're lengthening the front part of the body and we're lengthening the backs of the legs, turning the toes under. Bring your toes onto the floor, turning the toes, lift the heels up. You can even start with your knees bent. So first extend the arms. From the hands, press down, lift up through the elbows, outer arms firm, upper arms moving back towards your shoulders and moving the trunk up and back. Now keep the hips lifted. Lift the kneecaps up, tighten the kneecaps. So the knees help you to get that openness through the back of the thigh, back of the knee. That's where the hamstring is inserted, right at the back of the knee and at the sitting bone. So from here, keep that lift and then start to stretch your heels toward the floor. Press the heels down. If the heels don't go to the floor, then you can have a wall. Bring your heels onto the wall. Move your thighs back. Move your hips back. And feel the quadricep. So tightening the quadricep. And as you grip the quadricep, create that space and broadness through the backs of the legs. You can bend your knees, come up onto the toes. If you can't completely straighten the legs, then just do it in a way that you're bending and then straighten a little bit and then bend again and then straighten a little bit. So the legs and your body get the idea and your mind of what you're doing so that you create some pathways to that lengthening of the hamstring. And then you're going to come up. All right, here's where I'm going to have a block. I have a rounded block, and I can bring my toes onto that. I can bring it to the wall just so you can see. I have a regular block here, which you can bring the toes onto. I'll show you both ways. So you're lifting the toes up and bring your hips to the wall. So that's a little bit difficult to balance. So you can also use a chair. Have that block. And then press the heels down, lift the toes up, bring the buttocks forward. You can always stand at the wall as well. So wherever you need to have balance. So here, the hips are at the wall, and I'm not moving. I don't need to maintain my balance Here I can just lift the toes up, move the thighs back. So press the heels down, lengthen the calf. So that's using the chair. If you're not going to, you have a rounded block. You can bring the foot right onto that front, the rounded bit, and then bring the hips forward. Here you can feel a lot more away from the wall. So I'm bringing the hips forward, thighs back, and just extend the arms down. So here you can feel that extension and lengthening through the back of the leg. Keep the chest lifted. Keep moving the thighs back. So keeping that firmness of the kneecap lifting up and the thigh moving back. Lengthen the calf, spread and broaden and lengthen the back of the leg, the hamstring. And then just release. Stand back in Tadasana. We'll do it twice. And then again. So have the mounds of the toes on that roll, heels pressing down, and have the chair wherever you need to have the chair to maintain that balance. This chair is a little light, so if you had a heavier chair, just to make sure it doesn't move. I'm slightly pulling up on that chair as I pull up on the knees and pull up on the thighs. Bring the buttock forward. Keep the trunk so that it's lifted up, shoulders moving back. You can feel that firmness of the knee into the joint. So the knee is important for the hamstring as well. So bringing that tone to the knee. And then release. Okay, so you can take your chair away. Take your block away. And now I'm going to use a trestler. You won't have a trestler, but you can use the wall. Okay, this next position is Utthita Trikonasana, but I'm using the trestler. So this is what we endearingly call the trestler. It's a horse, and it helps to stabilize you. So here I have a rounded block. Let's go to the right side first. So I'm going to take this block over to the right. And I want to make the space a little bit shorter. So I have 2 blocks here for my length. All right? If I didn't have that second block, I would be spreading too far. So now I'm going to externally rotate this foot, bring the toe on the mound of the foot on that, and press my back foot back. So here I have a lot of length. I also want to have this for my hand when I go down. Okay, so this has a bar. You could use a table, you could use a couch, you could use a wall. But I wanted to show you on this. Okay, so now you're going to go into this. Keep this back leg extended, lifting the knee, pressing into the outer edge of that back foot. Keep the front leg contracted at the kneecap, lifting up into your quadriceps, and then start to go over. So as you go over, you're deepening. Keep your arm on the couch or the counter or whatever you might have there, or the wall, and then bring your hand down. Your hand goes directly underneath the shoulder. Toes are facing to the left, to the right, and you're getting external rotation on that thigh. And then from here, leaning back, looking forward, and then bring the arm up, extend up. So connect with the bottom hand. If this block is too high, you can take the block a little bit lower. So do what's appropriate for you, and then extend the arm up. So this back leg continues to lift. There's a slight movement to open through the pelvis on the left. This thigh moves back, so spread and broaden the back of the thigh. And as you reach the arm up, keep awareness through the feet, lifting up through the arches, up through the knees, keeping the quadriceps active so that you can elongate and extend through the hamstring. Take a few more breaths. And then come back into the feet, into the legs, and lift up. So you turn your feet, walk your feet in, and then I'm going to adjust to the other side. I'm going to take my left leg forward now. You're going to have a little bit of a rounded edge or a block to bring your foot on. Then have a nice wide stride. So bring your feet apart. So starting with that, bring your back foot back. And I have my hips level, so I'm not starting out like this. So level the hips. I can feel the backs of the hips on that bar, so I can feel that levelness. And then externally rotating that front leg. And as I bring the foot up a little bit, it gives a little bit of relief and a little bit more length here. So lift the kneecap, activate the quadricep, and then start to go over that leg. Keep this thigh lifted, this pelvis lifted, the thigh lifted, and reach over. Bring your hand down. Find the block, press down into the block, turn the chest, come back to the feet. Press into the mounds of the feet, lift up through the arches, through the knees. Feel that firmness in the quadriceps, opening the backs and spreading the backs of the thighs, and then reach the arm up. So hugging the muscles into the bones. So you have a strong connection with the muscular action of the thighs to bring that awareness to the backs of the legs. The muscles work together, the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh. So if one's not doing its job, then the other one gets a bit lazy or a bit tight. And then inhale, come up. Turn your feet, and you'll walk your feet in. Okay, we're going to go into Ardha Chandrasana now, and we'll use this bar to bring the leg up on. So if you have a counter at home, whatever you might have, I'm going to take this, make a little bit more space there. Okay, so externally rotating the leg. Bring the foot back. Okay, adjust the blocks. Have the other block here on the outside. And then come up with that back leg. But it's a little bit different to lift the back leg. Difficult. So you're going to bend the knee. Have your hand on that bar. And then walk your back foot in. And then lift the back leg. And hook it on that bar. Okay, so again, the foot is lifted. That right buttock is moving forward. You're extending through the heel, lifting the kneecap, spread the toes, turn the chest. Connect the bottom hand with the shoulder, moving it in, and then reach up. Extend out through the legs. Lift the arches, lift up through the knees, spread the back of the knee, lengthen the calf, and broaden and elongate the hamstring there. And then bring your hand down. Come down carefully, bend the knee, walk the foot back, and then come up. So we'll do the other side. Okay, we're going to come to the other side. Bring that back foot in. Move your block so it's going to be underneath your shoulder. I'm going to lift up, take this leg up onto the trestler. So if you have a counter or you have a couch, or you can even have a chair there, bring your leg up onto the chair. So bring that firmness from the feet through the knees, the front of the thigh, elongate. So from the sitting bone to the back of the knee, extend, broadening and extending. And then bring your hand up, turn, and look up. So you can feel the knee moving into the knee socket. There's a firmness there, broadness. So bringing some circulation into the knee. Often we're not straightening our knees. Bring your hand down. Step back. Turn your feet. So the knee connecting the lower leg and the upper leg, oftentimes it's in a bent position. So here, this is with the toes lifted, it's forcing that knee to move into the socket, which brings in more circulation and tone for the knee, which then in turn helps the quadriceps and the hamstrings. Okay, next we're going to come into Upavistha. So have something to sit on, either a folded blanket, a block. I have a small pad here. So you're going to bring your legs out to the side. And I'll just take a block. If you have a couple blocks, or you have a little bench, or you have a stool, then just have those in front of you so that you can lift up. So here, the femur bone is moving down. So again, you're opening and lengthening through the back of the thigh, elongating. The sitting bone is where it initiates and down right into the back of the knee. So you're extending and lengthening, extending the heels away. If you need to sit on more height, you sit on more height, which will take some of the pressure off. So it's a progression. So if you're very tight, sit a little bit higher, press the fingers down, roll the shoulders back, and just use that height with your hands. Drop the shoulders, but use it to keep the lift through the trunk. So as you lift up, you at the same time descend the thighs, descend the inner knee, descend the inner thigh down, outer knee down. So your knees and your thighs are facing up toward the ceiling. At the same time, spread the toes, lift and lengthen through the heel. Often you'll find that just by activating the foot, so if the foot is pretty relaxed and then you just start to extend through the heel and spread the toes, you're going to feel that in the backs of the legs. So that's important to start to be aware of, to see how can you bring some sensation and awareness to the back of the leg. Just try spreading the toes, drawing them towards you, and you'll find that it will help to lengthen, elongate, activate, bring some awareness there. All right, coming out of Upavistha, we're going to stand up. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more with lengthening. So now I'll bring a stool. So you may not have a trestle. You could do this on the trestler as well, but I have a stool here, so I'm just showing you different options. Here you'll stand in front of the stool or table or whatever you have that's going to be about the right height. I'm taking a block as well to bring my foot up onto that block. So I'm stepping up on the step and then bringing the leg up, and I've added that block there. Press down into that standing foot, drop your sitting bone down, and compact your hips. So again, just bring that space to the toes, lengthen through the heel, and here you can feel that kneecap drawing up, so not so much pressing down, but lifting up to activate the quadricep and lengthen the hamstring. Now, if you cannot hold your toes, you can have a strap and bring the strap around the foot. Okay, if you can hold your toes, then you can come forward, hold the toe, and then stand back up. But if you feel you're leaning, then have that extra support so that you bring your shoulders over your hips. Be aware of your standing foot. Spread those toes. Press into the mounds of the toes. Press the heel down and then lift up. As you lift up, feel that firmness in the knee, opening through the back of the knee, activating the quadricep, lengthen and broaden through the hamstring. And then release. Come back down. You're going to switch sides. So coming back to Tadasana. Bring one foot. Stabilize. Make sure the toes are facing forward. So oftentimes when you bring one foot up, that bottom foot turns. So just, if it has, turn the toes back so that they're facing forward. And then bring your foot up. You can either have it on the stool or a little bit more height if you have that ability. Draw your sitting bone down. This inner thigh moves back, inner knee moves back, like in Upavistha when we were seated with our legs spread. So lifting up, if you need to have that strap. Press into the mounds of the toes, lift the kneecaps up, move the thigh down. Stay with your breath. So whatever sensations you feel, stay with it and just allow your breath to move into those spaces and let go. Let go of tension, let go of any kind of contraction in the muscle that is maybe spasming, and then maintain that awareness as you extend the leg, as you lift up through the chest. Stay with your breath. And then you're going to release and bring the leg down. Okay, now we're going to go into Parshva, Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Okay? Now, it may be that this height is too high for you. If your hamstrings are really, really tight, and it's not just preventative that you're doing today, you can have something a little bit lower. You could take a chair and build it up, just so that it's at the height that you can straighten your leg and maintain that. So this leg is externally rotating. The pelvis is turning this way because my leg is turning that way, but I want to turn the trunk forward. So this left buttock has got to move forward. Right thigh moving back. Just take your hands on your hips. Spread the toes, lengthen the heel, draw the toes back towards you, and then just extend the arms down. Fingertips facing the floor. Lift up through the crown of the head. Stay with your breath. Stay with the sensations that you feel. Breathe into it. All right, and then release. You bend that knee, come down carefully. And then you're going to do the other leg. I'm just going to bring this bench over. So I'm bringing my feet into Tadasana. Bend the knee. So I'm getting that external rotation. And I'll bring my foot up onto the support. So here, I'll just show without using any extra support. So you're taking what you need for your body. This is opening here. This is externally rotating. Front thigh moving back. Right buttock moving forward. And then just extend your arms down. Press down into the foot. Lift up through the legs. Broaden and spread and lengthen. You can take your arms up as well and hold onto the thumbs, or if your shoulders are stiff, you can take a strap and lift up. So as you lift, the trunk is becoming lighter. The hip, especially that right sitting bone, is moving down. And start to feel the broadness through the backs of the thighs. And then bring this down, bend the knee, take the foot down, and stand back in Tadasana. Inner edges of your feet together. Just stand up straight. Be in the front of the foot, be in the heel. Lift up through the chest. Breathe. Just be aware what you feel in your legs. Do they feel the same? Is there more tension in one or the other? Just let yourself come to a quiet state, balancing on the front of the foot and the back of the foot. Okay, we're going to come down onto the floor now. So I'm going to take this bench away. And I'm going to use the trestler here. So just show you what you can do when you have a piece of equipment like this or something in your house, you're able to use to stay in a position for a little bit longer. So coming down on the floor, have both feet at the wall. And then raising your right leg up. You can have this heel at the wall. You can also take a strap. Bring your arms out to the side, hook your thumbs, extend your arms away from you, and just press up into the ball of the foot like you did, as if your toes were lifted on that block, and feel how the kneecap lifts. So here, the kneecap is a little bit neutral, and now as I press up into the mound, as if I were standing on a block, it brings that firmness, and the knee moves into the socket, and you start to open the back of the knee, and then lengthen the quadricep, front thigh moving back. With your left leg, descend your left leg down toward the floor. This is nice for your lower back as well, so feel both sides of the sacrum on the floor. So here, when you have that support, you can stay as long as you can. If you can't bring the leg into 90 degrees, then you'll take if I took the trestler back a bit, pushed it back to the wall, let's say that was all I could do to straighten my leg, then I'd be in that position. So you work with that. And then if you have a strap, you could start with the strap on the foot, start to bring it a little bit away, and then a little bit away. So working with it, starting in a position that's right for you, so you don't want to overstretch it, but you want to start to give it to the message to lengthen. So as you lengthen it, as it gets a little bit longer, so that might not happen in your first practice, but if you continue with that, then it will start to lengthen. Okay, we're going to switch sides now. Bring the leg up. So I'm going to leave this trestler here. You can also do this on the corner of a wall. So this leg would be straight, and this leg would be on the corner. That way you can get as close to the wall as you need to. Here, I'm using the trestler. Now press up through the mounds of the toes. If you can go deeper, you can catch the toe. So moving from that ladder position into a position that as you progress, you're able to start to lengthen a little bit more, spread. The knee is tight, the back of the knee is opening, quadricep is gripping, and you're lengthening from the sitting bone up to the back of the knee, from the back of the knee up toward the heel, and then press into the mound. Okay, so you're going to come down, roll to your. So that's something that you'll work at your own speed, using different pieces of equipment in your home, the wall, a couch, a table, whatever it may be, to bring the leg into a position that you can stay for a little while and then build up from there. Okay, we're going to get a chair now. We're going to go into Ardha Halasana. Okay, so I have a chair here. I brought a bolster because I'm going to bring my legs up and over for Ardha Halasana. I have my platform here for a little bit of height for my shoulders, and I put 2 blankets. Now, you may not need 2 blankets. You've been practicing a lot, or you may need a little bit more. So I'm going to just flip 1 blanket over for my head so my head's not on the mat. So now I have quite a bit of support underneath my shoulders. Okay? And then you're going to come down. And you want your shoulders just about 1 thumb's length away from the edge of your platform. From here, you're going to lift up. Now, you can use your hands to press, and if you can lift your legs up and over, then you can do that. You may need to have a bolster underneath your hips if it's going to be difficult to lift your legs up. Coming up. So if you found that difficult, put a bolster underneath your hips and lengthen up. So here, I'm going to have the knees supported. Let the feet hang over and give some more length to those hamstrings, but not in a way that is going to create any tension. So just let yourself be here. You can walk your legs in any amount you can. Shoulders are rolled under. Arms are relaxed. Then just let the whole weight of the leg move down into the chair, onto that bolster. Relax the feet, relax the arches, relax the legs. So that here the knee is supported, so the back of the knee is still opening, but you're not doing anything to grip the knee or tighten the knee or tighten the quadricep. Just be with your breath, keeping the breath relaxed. And observe any sensation in your body that you feel. Whenever you're in a position, if it doesn't feel quite right, you need to adjust. Don't hesitate to come out, give yourself some more height. You might want another bolster or another prop on top to lift up. You might want more or less support under your shoulders. So always be aware of your experience and see where you can modify so that you can stay there. The breath is relaxed. Let your breath be your guide. Here, my lower back is widening, which when you have tight hamstrings, sometimes your pelvis is tilted and then you get some lower back pain. Here, just allowing the legs to be completely supported so that the lower back is hanging and completely being supported. If it was too much to have the legs straight, you can always have the knees bent, have the feet on the back of the chair. Keep the shoulders moving down, lengthening the back of the head. Allow the throat to soften. With this position of the head and the neck and the chest, you're coming into one of the bandhas, Jalandhara Bandha. And in that Jalandhara Bandha, you can feel the throat, you can feel the breath, and you can observe the quality of your breath. Just let yourself relax. All right, we're going to come out now. You're going to take your hands behind you and then start to move your legs out of the chair. Bring your fingertips onto the floor, or if you had a bolster there, then you press into the bolster. And then start to come down slowly. Lift your chin towards your forehead and come down. And then sit back up. Okay? So now you can just keep this set up with the chair and the bolster. And you can turn around and come into Savasana. When I went into this, I did not have the chair on the mat, so I could slide the chair back and forth. So depending on your length of your leg and when you bring your legs over where you find your thighs, you can always start to inch your thighs over that bolster and bring the chair closer to the top of your thigh. Okay. I'm going to take a blanket for my head. Okay, so the backs of the knees are completely supported. The femur bones are moving down into the hips. The lower back is relaxed. And just bring your arms out to the side. You can lengthen the back of the head so the chin is slightly moving down. Rotate your arms out. And now, just allow yourself to be here. So I'll set a timer for you. We'll be here another 5 minutes just to relax completely. Let the abdomen relax. Let the femur bones, the quadriceps, the hamstrings all relax. And feel that weight move into the hip socket. Stay with your breath. Namaste.